Howdy folks, Ken Korb here, artist. Going to tell you my story, how I came up through the arts. I was a kid with a pencil. Born in Brooklyn and lived in Queens till I was almost 4. We moved out to the island in Deer Park. It was just the boonies, and so we grew up outside and crafty, Boy Scouts, soccer and all that stuff. But the thing that really captured me was, because we had crayons, every kid has crayons, but then all of a sudden I discovered an amazing invention, just a basic pencil. Then one day I said, "Mom, what's that?" She said, "It's a pencil." I said, "What do you do with it?" She goes, "Well, you can write with it, and you can draw pictures, and if you don't like what you drew, then you just use the other end, and it's called an eraser, and you just take it off." And I'm like, "Dad, boy, I wish I invented that." And I fell in love with it. We had the Boys Life magazine when we were kids. There was this ad in the back. That was just a little ad, and you had to sit there and draw what you saw, and then I found out later that you were supposed to send the drawings in with a few dollars, and they would give you lessons. And I didn't have any money, but I kept saying, like, "How do you draw? How do you do it?" And I've kept my interest to this day, 60 or more years later, and I just keep drawing and painting. So when I was about 15, I was in an art class in school, and I had to draw something. So I drew this for my mom, a 3-masted ship, and I still put them in my paintings sometimes. So I did it in pencil, then I did it in ink, and I remember saying, "Oh, it looks like the water was here." So I drew the water right there, past it, so I knew that it would look like it was actually in the water. So I was like, "Oh, wow, I could figure that out when I was a kid." So I started improvising and painting from imagination. Nature is always the best place for me to be. Nice, peaceful nature, rocks, moving water, and trees. That's what it's all about. I drew a little cabin in the woods with a grassy embankment and the water, like it was a cabin on a lake, and I just drew it with my pencil, and I'm like, "Wow, how did I do that?" So I said, "Let me try that again." So I tried it again, and it came out, I did the same picture, but I was able to add more details, the little shadow under the rocks that I made. So back in the day, when I was a Boy Scout, you learn a skill, and you get tested, and then you use it, and you just get another skill. So my whole life has been skill building to drawing and my work and my music. I play 20 instruments, and some of them like really well. And playing soccer, the same thing. You try a trick and you fall on your butt. But if you tried it over and over again, you get better. So those early lessons of skill building between sports and Boy Scouts, I learned perseverance and, not being afraid to sweat and just push. So I've been pushing my artwork ever since. I always did crafty work for my jobs. I worked stair builders and cabinet shops and 3.5 years of leather work and everything. You needed a pencil to lay it out. And eventually, when I was about 19, I got into the woodwork. So I got a 35-year career being a cabinet maker, a carpenter, woodworker. And every day was drawing interiors. I was building decks. You know, you go in a house, there's a empty wall, and you got to build a wall unit with a desk and, you know, crown moldings to the ceiling. And you got to work around a window, what the moldings look like. So I drew almost every day in my career as a woodworker. About 15 years ago, I said, hey, I'm going to just really, really dive into it. Really take it extra seriously. So I closed down my shop. I started a new business of touch-ups. Been working at 14 years doing artistic touch-ups, which is ding, dents, scratches, and blending in finishes, which is a total art in itself. And it's still drawing and crafting, so that feeds my art, and my art feeds that. So you just keep getting better. And I started the new business, but at the same time, I gave away all my possessions and went homeless to get every distraction out. So I did a year and a half. Could have gotten a place, but the thing was having no bills. Everywhere I went, I would just draw and paint. I get home, I do it. So everywhere I go, you know, everybody takes pictures. What I do is I draw something. I start drawing it in the field, and then sometimes I paint them start to finish in a session, but a lot of times you just have time to start it and you finish it in the studio, or you can wait till you go back. Like my front of my house is right here. That's our house where we're in right now, outside. And so I'm going back out when the azaleas and lilacs are in bloom. I'm going to just, hopefully this time, I'm going to finish it. So I go out, that's like probably 3 years. I go out every spring and do a little painting in between, you know, busy life. My buddy James Kazira, Leatherman, he made this for me. This is my road kit of pens, pencils, ink pens, ink brushes, water brushes, erasers, everything I need. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this one out. I take watercolor paper to a piece of cardboard, and I put my magnetic clips on it so I can go this way if I want to do it portrait style, or if I want to do it landscape style. And then I have my metal palette in my bag, a well-used towel on the knee so you don't mess up your pants. That was the first thing my mom taught me when I was a kid. Don't mess up your pants. And you pop the top off, and there's water. You squeeze it, you wipe it out, put the clips on, open your paints. I like a lot of colors. I go transparent and the brightest of each color. Every one, you can't get any brighter because you can always tone it down. But if it's not bright enough, you're stuck. This just clips on by magnets. Put your thumb in the thumb ring and you hold it up like that, and you are good to go. Because of all my drawing and cabinet work and carpentry, I just sit down in front of a place and I draw an architectural drawing, you know, with perspective, and determine my light source, and then I start putting in some texture and in the building and work the trees, decide what time of year it is. I may make it autumn because I love the color trees. What I learned when I was a kid was I don't just paint pictures and draw pictures. I practice. It's always skill building, process of evolution in doing what you're doing. I said I'm going to make progress every day. Every single day, I'm going to make progress. And what I did was, even if it was a day, all I did was sharpen a couple of pencils, you know, or set up for the next project or something. Even if I just did that, it was progress for the day. You know, you paint, you draw. I don't know if it's good, it doesn't matter. I did my time, I got in, I focused, and I moved it forward. And I saw, like practicing, like soccer, like anything, like, you know, my harmonica, I would be doing train rhythms and just keep doing them for hours and making noises. The same thing with the art. You just keep doing it and you get better. Just like Arnold Schwarzenegger, he didn't get muscles by reading about him. He got it from working. Same with Tiger Woods' golf swing, you know. You get it from doing repetition. So I practice hard with the artwork. Just enjoying the pathway, but with a serious goal to just, you know, go as far as I can. I got to the first 50, then I said 100, then 100 turned to 200, 200 turned to 500. So I guess I'm at 1,500. If I did 20 drawings or watercolors, because that's mainly what I was doing, drawing in watercolors. If I did about 20 or 25 a month, 2-3 months, you know, concentrated effort, 2 or 3 came out frameable. And in the garage, there's a pile of duds, you know, they can't be framed. But the thing about practicing is I would say, okay, this week is clouds, skies. I would just do skies, like look at skies online, look at imaginary, look at my own paintings and just whatever, just skies, go out in the field. And I would just fill pages, like 25 of skies. Then I do just flowers for like a couple of weeks. Then for a week, I'm way in between, not every week by week by week, but just keep going back to practicing. Then I would do a week or days of rocks, or just trees, or just water. And then when I do my paintings, skies are easy, rocks are easy, trees are easy. The water, you get a nice flow. Where's the light coming from? You know, so I see paintings with 4 different light sources. Light coming from here, light coming from there, shadow going this way, another shadow going that way. And it's like you have to have a consistent light source. So all the practicing locks in habits. Like when I do something, a picture I'm drawing out in the field, where's the sun? I draw a circle, sometimes with a couple lines. I know my sun is coming from that direction. So if I just want to start it, I'll put in, you know, go some nice warm glowy colors. And then where the shadow's going to be, I'll put in some blue or purple. So every painting is always with the goal of capturing the light better, the drawing better, accuracy, where I want to be closer to nature or where I just feel exuberant and I want to have it just be wilder than nature, just to explore and have fun. Spent a lot of time with the Japanese sumi-e painting, SUMI-e. And when you look at sumi paintings, it's Japanese culture, life, their geography. But the thing is, when you learn it, you don't necessarily have to learn to paint Japanese culture. You learn the brush strokes. There's certain ways of doing it, loading the brush with 2 colors to make one flow. It's all about one movement. And that's also very important in watercolor and oils and pastels, to just do your mark and there it is and you did it right. But it's all that time spent. So you learn Japanese style while learning how to actually paint it. So a lot of people say to my paintings, wow, they look Japanese, because I'm painting my subjects and I just add a little flavor of those brush strokes. Gives it a style, you know, it's in me because I've done the work. And I go by sayings too that really helps me stay focused. Every year I have a word or a quick phrase that I keep with me all year long, and like the word focus. So I always remember the word focus. And another year was people don't know how much power they really have. So if you can tie your own shoelaces, and you can sign your own name, you are more than qualified to learn to draw. It's a matter of getting the basics really down and really just focusing. And you have to love it inside and want to do it. Otherwise you're not gonna. Especially when things take time. Yeah, the sayings have really been helping me because I've been using them since I was a teenager. That discipline equals freedom. And the joy you're missing is in the work you're avoiding, because we all have our artist block now and again. It's a human condition. But having the sayings helps you keep going. Part of the lesson that I learned as a kid about practicing is what I've done all along. Like I have hundreds and hundreds of paintings that done, half done, and just started. And yeah, really, it's all about boldly going in and just doing it. Also with the painting, there's a lot of inner peace, and everybody's going bonkers with the next thing that everybody's going bonkers with. It offers a lot of peace, because life can be very, running a company and changing things, and life changes, and getting older, and etc. It's a peace. So I can travel anywhere in my mind, especially places I've been. Everywhere I went that I drew, and I have photographs of, but if I went somewhere, I could just draw whatever is in my mind. So I'm very happy to be at that point in my drawing that I can draw what's in front of me, what's on a picture, or just what's in my head, pretty much the same. Every painting is a place, whether it's been a place that I've been to, or the paintings are from my imagination. It's still inspired by my travels. And I want to bring folks to these places through my art. The Bible says, don't hide your light under a bushel. And my art is my light, and I shine that light to you.